Hey guys, how's it going? Ezekiel the Barber back with more barbering tutorials for you guys. Well, it is time for my man to get a haircut. It's been a while, so today's haircut, high bald fade with a number 10 on top. We're going to start this haircut in the first guideline using a simple comb and then also the Babylis Pro Silver FX trimmer, okay? So we'll get into the first guideline. We'll go ahead and get right into it. So we'll comb the hair down. Since this is going to be a bald fade, I like to start a little lower because I can always bring the fade up, but I can't bring it down. So it's more of a conservative approach. So we'll start about midway with this guideline. Right. Definitely love the fact that these clippers are cordless. It allows me to kind of get in there without having to worry about the cords. So I definitely love the Babylis Pro trimmers, the cordless versions that is. Right, so we'll just clean this up all the way around, just making sure everything's nice and clean. Now this client in particular likes everything really bald. Now there's a few different steps that I'll go through as far as making things a lot bolder. Sometimes you could use a shaver, a razor, but in this case he's normally okay with just the clippers getting things really bald for him. So that's what we'll be doing today. Just getting that hair out there. We'll just go to some fast forwarded frames. So basically here I'm just trying to make sure that the guideline is even from left to right. It doesn't have to be perfect, but definitely in the vicinity of the rest of the guideline. So everything's looking pretty good here. Just want to get the hair from around the ears. There it is. Always pull that ear, protect it. Use the corners of the clippers to get in the hard to get spots. And then also I just like to cut with a clean palette, so we'll clean everything up. Right, even out that guideline just a little bit more there. Okay, so things look pretty good to go ahead and go to the next step. So I'll use the outliner blade, which is the metal blade. So I'm using that with the Oster Octane cordless clipper. So once again, definitely love the cordless clippers, the flexibility that it gives you. But with this outliner blade, I did get it sharpened. So this gets things a little sharper than the actual Babylis Pro clipper that I use. The teeth are smaller, which usually ensures that you get a little closer cut. So that's what we're going for here. All right, so we'll do that all the way around. Just make sure everything is nice and clean before I go to my next guideline. All right, so everything looks pretty good here. We'll go ahead and use the Wahl clipper. So I'll open that lever all the way up. So I can close the lever. Then I can open the lever. There's an open lever, so we'll use that open lever, go about 1/4 of an inch up, and we'll do that all the way around as well. After I set this guideline, you see that hard line at the bottom, that's when we'll close the lever up and attempt to erase that bottom line. All right, we'll just go all the way around. Clipper lever still all the way open. Now my main objective here is just to set a really clean guideline, so you'll see me kind of go over areas over and over just until everything looks really even. And that ensures that you get really clean guidelines, which makes for cleaner fades. Cleaner transitions. All right, you see us erasing that bottom line, closing that lever up a little bit more as we go up, not going up too high. Still keeping the palette clean, very important. All right, so we're gonna go to the next step, which is the number 1 guard. We're gonna open that lever all the way up. There it is there. We'll go a little bit higher, about another 1/4 of an inch up. Once again, we'll do this all the way around. Just want to kind of keep everything even. Definitely a really good clipper, very quiet. Definitely durable as long as you keep up and maintain the maintenance. But this clipper cuts all types of hair, so that's what I definitely do appreciate about the Wahl brand. Very good clippers overall. All right, so looks like the fade is actually coming together a little better. So we'll go ahead and go to that number 2 guard and set my next guideline. I like to start with that lever open. And I like to start with the lever open. It's basically a conservative approach. Gives me the chance to see kind of how the hair is going to take to the blade and that sort of thing, which is definitely important. We'll just go straight up. Eventually I'll go to the 3 guard, so I'm not looking to go too high. I still want to go about 1/4 of an inch up per guideline. Now you notice I haven't taken that very bottom line out yet, that hard line that you see. And eventually we'll go back and fade all of that out. But as long as you know your lengths and what have you, it shouldn't be much of an issue. The more you cut and with more experience, you'll be able to make certain calls like, oh, this is a half, or I need a 1 in this area, or let's try the 2 guard here. So, all right, so it looks like the next phase we'll go ahead and go to the half guard, also known as the 0 guard. So we'll just start with that lever all the way open, try to erase that line that you see there. So we'll go about halfway up. Not looking to go too high where I use the 1 or the 2. We still have to use the 1.5, so just want to make sure we cover all the bases. So you see that half in the region where I'm using it is really creating that blend from 0 into that 1. Now I also like to use that half guard as like a buffering guard. So I'll have to show that in other videos. For now, we'll just stick to the script and continue on with this guideline. All right, so that's looking pretty good here. Once again, you see I'm not going too high. Slightly under where I use that 1, over where I use the balding clippers. We'll just go ahead and fast forward those frames. So anywhere you see those dark areas, you see that's basically where I'm looking to attack that bottom hard line, not go too high. Start with that lever open, and then eventually I slightly close it up, like you see there. Alright, so fade's looking a lot better here, so everything's looking good from that angle. So I decided to go to the Andis Masters, the corded version. Definitely love these clippers. These clippers are legends. So all the way open, we have a 1. All the way closed, we have a 000. Halfway open, we have a half or an OA, same thing. So that's why I like to use this clipper to kind of clean up the fade. I'm not going to go over the areas that I use the 1 unless I have the guards on. But in the areas that would be bald or a 000 or a half or a 1, it's definitely safe to use this clipper for that. So you get 3 in 1. That's why you have that lever action. Back to the 1, back to the half, back to the triple. Back to the 1. So once again, this just helps to kind of clean up the fade a little bit. Now, sometimes I'll use Wahl clippers all the way through the haircut. Sometimes I'll use Andis clippers all the way through. Now it's time to use that number 12 guard, which is equivalent to 1 1/4 inch. This is what we normally use on this client. So I like to go from every angle, north, south, east, and west. All right, so you see me here. Alright, and then in this region here, since we've already used the guard on the top, we've pretty much completed the fade on the side. I just use the clipper over comb technique to merge the sides into the top and vice versa. So that's what you see me doing here, cleaning everything up. Any hair that sticks over the side, I'm just looking to clipper over comb that right off. So it just makes everything a lot cleaner. Alright, so now it's time for that 2-guard. So we'll just start with that clipper lever all the way open. We'll go a little higher up than we did with the 1. We'll just go for some of those dark areas, not looking to go too high. Alright, so now with the cordless masters, just to kind of clean everything up a little bit more. The cordless masters and the corded masters are very similar, except for the fact that one has a cord and one doesn't. So other than that, you're still going to get that same great cut. That's what I do like about the clipper. Now, the only thing about the cordless clipper is you only have really about 90 minutes of cut time, so I like to pretty much make sure the majority of my haircut is pretty much done, and then I'll use this to kind of clean things up. Right, you see there. Alright, things are pretty good there, so we'll just use that 0-guard, very similar to the 0-guard that we use with the Wahl clipper. We'll use it in the same region. Alright, so just comb the hair backwards. That's the way this client likes to comb his hair. So whatever direction my client normally combs his hair, I basically cut the hair in that direction. So. Alright, once again, this is just a cleanup. Alright, so I also like to get the liners. Now, this client doesn't really go with the lineup. We just line the sides up, and any little hairs that stick in or around the eyebrows, I definitely make sure I get that as well. Sometimes you won't see those microscopic hairs, but they definitely take away from the haircut. So we're just using this to kind of clean things up, not looking to get much detail, not looking to get those hard lineups out of this haircut, just to clean up. Alright, so the fade looks pretty good. Pretty much from this angle as well. So this is a high bald fade. Right, everything looks pretty good from that angle. I like to use the number 1 guard in the cordless Andis masters to kind of clean over the eyebrows. Any hairs that kind of stick up over the eyebrows, I'll just go right over that. Sometimes you'll find those hairs that stick up, and that's what we're basically doing now. Alright. And we'll just kind of clean up just around the eyebrows here. You see me using the edges of the clippers. Alright, so basically here's a 360 version for you guys of get a chance to check out the cut. And a little bit more of the cleanup that you see me doing around the eyebrows and everything. Alright. Longtime client right here. If you got a chance to watch my last video, he and his son, I've been cutting them up for some years, so these are my guys. Really appreciate you guys for allowing me to demonstrate these haircuts for YouTubers. So much appreciated. Right. So you all are in the cut with Ezekiel the Barber, so thank you for tuning in. And then basically what you see me doing here is just going over all of my steps. I'm using the Wahl Sterling. Right, so just using the Andis trimmers just to clean the sides up. A little bit more clipper over comb. And as you can see, a lot of the process is just literally going over the process, so it just makes things a lot cleaner. So it always helps. You only have so much time on a haircut, so with the time allotted, you definitely have to make do with the time. These are just some of the techniques that I use to get the job done. So close to the end of the cut, I like to make sure that the neck and everything's nice and clean, even the areas that I've already balded out. Just want to go over that just to make sure things are just that much cleaner. Always covering my steps. So sometimes I'll go over steps 4 or 5 times even, just to make sure that things are clean. Different guy here. You don't have to go hard or dig in, just literally let the clippers do the cutting, and pretty much you're just guiding the clippers. So that's basically how you do it. As you can see, the clippers do a real good job. Client does like his haircuts really bald with just the clippers. Some of my clients do use the Wahl shaver or shavers just to get things balder, or even the razor. So it's whatever they prefer, that's what I'm doing. So it's really good to kind of be well-rounded. So here's a before. It was time, so this is before the cut. Now that you are in the cut with Ezekiel the Barber, you got a chance to check out the process. This is after the haircut. It's like my man's ready to go here. Alright, so we'll just put a little water, spray everything backwards, comb the hair backwards. Alright, looking pretty good there. Alright, thank you guys for posting up in the cut with Ezekiel the Barber. Me and my guy. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care, guys. Like, share, subscribe.